Getting started.
My name is Dr. Stephen Brownson.
And my name is Dr. Wendy Conaway. We are full-time remote instructors with the College of Liberal Arts at Ashford University, and it is our pleasure to facilitate this presentation for you. This faculty development presentation provides practical solutions to motivate online instructors for the inclusion of additional multimedia into the classroom. One essential aspect involves using multimedia relating to the higher levels of interactivity and student satisfaction within the online learning experience. Embedding multimedia in the classroom engages multiple levels of learning modalities as well as bridges the digital divide with 21st century learners who are more comfortable with social media and the extensive use of multimedia on a daily basis. There is a plethora of research to support the use of multimedia in online classrooms. The use of multimedia such as Jings, Vokies, POWTOONS, GLOGSTERs, and other tools can increase student academic achievement and improve interactivity within the classroom at 3 levels: student to instructor, student to student, and student to content. For example, Jings combine visual screenshots or PowerPoints with auditory podcasts, thereby providing learners with additional learning modalities through which to access the content. Including Jings as online lectures encourages multimodal dissemination of the additional knowledge which enhances the course material as well as the overall learning experience. Another example is that of Vokies. Vokies are simple animation programs that combine auditory and visual delivery. Instructors can embed Vokies in introductions and in other announcements. Based on cognitive research, Sweller suggests that multimodal delivery raises the level of long-term memory retention. These are just 2 examples of multimedia and how they can be effective in the online environment.
The idea for integrating multimedia links both Gardner's multiple intelligences and Clark's dual encoding models. GLOGSTERs have emerged as a combination multimedia tool embedding text, visuals, audio, and animation to provide course content within the context of the multiple intelligences, thereby satisfying both visual and auditory learners. Bandura's social learning theory represents a critical underpinning to the usage of multimedia. Students online master the content and interact at higher levels with social interactions such as discussion threads. Based on the student to instructor, student to student, and student to content interactivity, there are stronger possibilities to engage students online in an academic conversation if the instructor takes the effort to respond in a personalized way with multimedia. Not only does social learning impact interactivity, but it also increases the sense of belonging in the classroom community, raises the level of student satisfaction, and ultimately has a positive influence on student retention. Thus, many studies have shown that the inclusion of multimedia is positively correlated with student and instructor satisfaction. The use of different technological tools can satisfy visual, auditory, and kinesthetic cognitive learning approaches to enhance the absorption of the messages as well as provide a welcome break from the usual read-write routine.
In today's presentation, we will explore a variety of common issues experienced by students and instructors and provide examples to demonstrate how each can be effectively addressed using multimedia. It cannot be understated how important it is to create a learning environment that reaches every type of 21st century learner. Using multimedia does just that.
Rather than hastily or randomly choosing a piece of technology to address an issue, it is generally a good idea to utilize a decision-making process to determine the best fit for the issue being addressed. One question is, what types of technology am I already familiar with, and what can I confidently create? This is a good question because you don't want to be put in a situation where you're trying something new while the student waits for the response. Embedding your prior knowledge about technology at the time you need it works well for both effective online instruction and higher levels of interactivity. Take an inventory of what you know and then put aside time to learn new tools at your leisure. Perhaps setting a goal of one new piece of technology per new class might be a good idea. A second question is, am I trying to reach one student or many? The answer to this question helps determine whether a broad range of technology would best suit, usually being inserted in an announcement or guidance, or whether an individual message is necessary, possibly delivered by iJot through the usage of dual encoding of the text and multimedia, as well as incorporating visual audio learning modalities. Question 3. What is the tone of the message conveyed? If the tone is serious, you might want to consider foregoing any technology and rely on the written word. However, if it's more informal, then it would be appropriate to choose less serious and less formal tools such as VOCIs, PREZIs, ANIMOTOs, POWTOONS, etc. Question 4. How long is my message? If your message is fairly short, between 30 seconds and 5 minutes, you can probably use free versions of online tools, especially since student attention spans aren't much longer than that. A fifth question, can I obtain the multimedia for free? Some tools are free, but limited in scope with respect to the duration of the message and length of storage. However, if you do play around with some that you think might be used on an ongoing basis, you might consider purchasing a subscription. They aren't that expensive. They can be written off at the end of the year as a business expense.
Certain types of multimedia are more conducive to deliver specific messages than others. Today, we will explore common issues that instructors experience in the classroom environment and suggest specific types of multimedia that can effectively address each one. As we discuss each piece of multimedia and their suggested uses, we will place a hyperlink in the chat box so that you can experience them in your own browsers. At that time, we will pause for a moment to allow you to click on them and return to the presentation. The first issue we will address is that of students posting their work late. In this example, the initial response to the discussion question is posted past the deadline. Since this is a fairly common event, we thought a well-crafted VOCI, which is an animated avatar, would send the message in a somewhat humorous way to remind students about the impending deadline. We like to place VOCIs in the course announcement area with a catchy subject line that is similar to content but not completely disclosing, causing students to open the message out of curiosity by gaining their attention. The link has been pasted into the chat at this point. Please take a moment to click on the link. Students often send emails asking why they received points deducted for their post. In most online grading systems, feedback can be accessed by clicking on the grade itself. Many students don't realize they can find their personalized feedback by accessing the grade within the grade book. For some students, this is hard to convey in writing, so we created a Jing to help the students see and hear how to perform the function. Please see the chat room for the link. Inevitably, there will be a student who does not adequately prepare for technological glitches that can impede access to the internet and subsequently the class. So to hopefully prevent those last-minute frantic emails about internet interruptions or laptop crashes, here is a clever POWTOON that suggests students have a plan B. The link is now available in the chat box.
In many courses, we encounter students who are struggling or identified as at risk. In these cases, it's always appropriate to initiate personal private feedback, which in our platform equates to email conversations. Often these go unanswered and sometimes even unviewed. But when we take the little extra time to send a video email to the student, it lends a personal connection and shows we care about them as people, which encourages and motivates them. Just as an aside, iJots can also be used as an alternative way of creating videos to be embedded in the course as well as to be seen in the next slide. The link is being pasted in the classroom at this point. One of the most critical elements of student success and retention in the classroom is the ability of the instructor to establish an effective social presence. Whereas it is fairly easy to communicate this element in the traditional classroom, it is often elusive in the online environment. Research tells us that when the instructor can create an environment where students feel comfortable and welcomed, they are likely to perform better on assignments and engage more often in the classroom. Personalized welcome videos can be placed within the classroom so that students can get a sense of who the instructor is and their personality as an educator. Please see the chat room for the link. Another use for the videos is to use pre-prepared ones from the various sources, as long as there are no copyright violations. There are a good many informative and even entertaining videos in your institution's library, as well as YouTube, that cover a wide variety of topics to complement course material as it reaches a variety of learners by providing visual, auditory, and kinesthetic elements. Here is a video that I like to add as an announcement to point out some common issues that I see with the student's grammar. The link is available in the box.
As most online instructors know, establishing a positive social presence in the classroom is very important. Most online courses begin with an introduction area where students and instructors can introduce themselves and get to know one another. The introduction area is often overlooked as an opportunity to use multimedia in a fun and creative way. ANIMOTO is an innovative tool that provides an insight to the personal side of the instructor. Personal photos can be uploaded and complementary background music used to complete your introduction. Encouraging students to create and share theirs also helps to build a sense of community within the classroom. The link is being pasted into the chat room. Another fun way to share yourself with your students in the introductions is to create a GLOGSTER. GLOGSTER is a type of electronic poster in which you can embed clip art, personal photos, and even videos with sound. Encouraging students to create their own media introductions gets their creative juices flowing and paves the way for a more dynamic class in the coming weeks. The link has been placed in the chat room. PREZIs provide a different spin, quite literally in some cases, on presenting information. PREZIs are best used when specific points need to be highlighted or sequential order is necessary to accomplish a task. Using a different delivery format breaks the monotony and provides variety while the message remains the same. PREZIs provide an interactive and visually stimulating way to present information that might be overlooked in ordinary PowerPoint presentations. These are helpful when offering assistance with basic issues such as APA, writing skills, academic integrity, and formatting. Here is a PREZI designed to help students understand some necessary elements to posting on the discussion boards. The link is available in the chat box.
Audio files are another way to increase the student's ability to access the content for audio learners. Embedding audio files can provide an alternative way to provide a springboard for discussion and critical thought. However, a transcript must be included with every audio file to be ADA compliant for all critical materials for the course and strongly encouraged for supplemental announcements or information. The WavePad audio software provides a free and easy way to transcribe your ideas. This is an example of an MP3 audiocast of Oprah Winfrey's A New Earth, Awakening to Life Purpose. You can post the audiocast in your guidance, announcements, or send them as emails. You can now see the link in the chat room. Whereas in relation to other more interactive multimedia tools, PowerPoints are still widely used as they are probably the simplest of the multimedia tools. In courses that do not have embedded guidances, for example, PowerPoint presentations can serve as another means of delivering essential weekly lectures by the instructor. Other uses for PowerPoint presentations are to deliver a focused approach for the subject matter. By using the combination of text and targeted visuals, the dialogue tells a vibrant story. The academic conversation. In turn, 21st century students require higher levels of interactivity, student to student, student to instructor, and student to content, as well as social media connections. In the PowerPoint, the process of telling the story would both model the expectations with a clear example of the project and also promote multimedia learning outlets. Please see the chat box for the link.
We all know that most students make mistakes, and instructors typically don't hesitate to correct them. That is the instructor's job, right? However, what about those students who get it right? Badging from legitimate open sources is an effective way to acknowledge a job well done with respect to properly formatting APA or providing a creative and accurate response to a question. Creative Commons is one such open access site, as is WP ClipArt. To avoid the monotony of repetitive announcements that run the risk of going unread, including visual clip art images can be an effective way to gain a student's attention. The clip should relate to and support the message being delivered rather than detracting from or upstaging the message altogether. For example, here are two pieces of Microsoft clip art that are useful, especially since we know technology often fails and that many students serve in the military. It isn't rocket science to figure out which is which.
The Americans with Disabilities Act requires that all students be afforded equal opportunity to access the educational environment. While there is not specific reference to electronic materials or platforms in the ADA, in 2010, the Department of Education and the Department of Justice jointly issued a Dear Colleague letter providing guidelines specifically ensuring accessibility of electronic platforms and clarifying that ADA does apply to such environments. While Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act does outline the responsibility of federal agencies to ensure accessibility of electronic platforms and systems, guidance regarding educational institutions has not been as specific. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 ensures non-discrimination at educational institutions, and ADA provides for equal access. The intersection of these two pieces of legislation supports our responsibility for ensuring accessibility of our course content for all learners. As we create audio and visual content, we have a responsibility to ensure accessibility for all students. Therefore, it is best practice to provide transcripts for audio content and captioning for video content to ensure that deaf and hard of hearing students have an opportunity to engage in a similar learning experience as their non-disabled peers.
We hope you have enjoyed our presentation and have found our information useful towards improving your own classrooms. Please take advantage of all of the links at your leisure. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, Dr. Wendy Conaway, at wendy.conaway@ashford.edu, or my colleague, Dr. Stephen Brownson, at stephen.brownson@ashford.edu, and we will be happy to address them. Thank you very much.